Hi everyone. I'd like to return to this off the beaten path set. This is the third card we've looked at in this set. We looked at Rick Barry and we looked at John Brisker. If you don't know about John Brisker, you're curious about seeing that card, I'd watch that video. He has a very, very interesting biography. Kind of sad, a little bit scary. It's really worth knowing about him. And I do have a video on that card, the second card in this set. This is the 1970-71 ABA All-Star 5x7 picture pack. That's how it's referred to in some price guides, a bit of a long name. This is the third card in the set if you're going by last name, Joe Caldwell. Now, these 1970-71 ABA All-Star 5x7 cards, it's hard to call them cards. If you're tracking down this set, you honestly might end up surprised to learn they're just 5x7 pieces of paper. The backs are completely blank. Here, look. You see how flimsy, how thin? It's really just a piece of paper. Very interesting set. Fortunately, authenticity isn't much of an issue with this set. If you're worried, you can compare image quality to a known sample, but honestly, those aren't easy to find. If you're really worried, I'd take a white piece of computer paper and I'd just make sure that the color differs. See that? That's probably the quickest way to verify authenticity for these. There's a nice simplicity to these cards. They're just simple black and white photos, player and team names underneath, no numbering, like I said. This is number 3 if we're going alphabetically. There's 12 All-Stars from the ABA that make up this set. Now, Rick Barry, that we already looked at, that's your highlight. Now, if you're an avid basketball fan, you will recognize some other names, like John Brisker that I mentioned. But for your average fan, Rick Barry is one of the only recognizable players in the set. But if you're willing to explore and spend time with this set, it's just hard to beat for the unique history here of these players. This Joe Caldwell, he played for the Carolina Cougars at the time of printing. Now, Caldwell also played in the NBA. In fact, he was the number 2 pick in 1964 for the Detroit Pistons. Now, he just started with the ABA for 1970-71. That's when this set came out. Being in this ABA All-Star set is very important for him because it makes him one of the few players, one of the only players to be an All-Star for both the NBA and the ABA. I think that's a neat piece of history. I really do. And this is the trivia that you encounter when you're going through this set. He was known as Pogo Joe or Jumpin' Joe due to his vertical, and he was a gold medalist for the 1964 USA Olympic team, and in fact, one of his grandchildren, Marvin Bagley III, currently plays in the NBA. So there's still a family connection in the league to this day. Now, these cards are really interesting as well because like this Carolina Cougars here, they're a chance to encounter teams that only existed for a short time. The Carolina Cougars, you're looking at 1969 to 1974, very brief period of time. They were what was called a regional team, so they played in a variety of locations. They were mainly based in Greensboro, North Carolina, but they also played in Charlotte, in Raleigh. They even played a few games in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Here's another interesting piece of trivia about Joe Caldwell. His contract with the Carolina Cougars actually included a $6,600 a month pension after the age of 55. Now, later, the team owner sued to try to get out of it, and Caldwell won the lawsuit. I mean, a contract's a contract. They had to keep paying him. So that's interesting if you didn't know that. So despite these cards being paper, as well as being a bit off the beaten path for basketball cards, they're really a unique addition to a collection if you can find them. I really enjoy them because I've been using this price guide for a while, from 2001. I only collect cards before the year 2000, primarily. And in this price guide, this set is the very, very first set listed. See it up there in the corner? Those names aren't in alphabetical order. I don't know what they were doing with that. The last names are a bit scrambled. But because it's the first set that appears there, I don't know. It was always a little bit special to me. That guide lists the price at $60, but honestly, it's unpredictable for this set. They rarely appear on the market. Sometimes there's a buyer looking for them, sometimes not. So, they go for a variety of prices. They can top $100. You can get them less if there's no one looking at the moment. So yeah, neat card. Joe Caldwell, All-Star for the ABA and the NBA. And with a $6,600 a month pension for the Carolina Cougars. Some really neat history here. Hope you enjoyed. A little bit off the beaten path today. Bye-bye.